Okay, moving along here, we're going to go into the covenant with Moses. Let's give some background information. So to connect it into Abraham's covenant, Joseph, one of Abraham's descendants, was sold into slavery in Egypt. And for 400 years, the Israelites grew in number there. They were enslaved as a nation toward the end there. And so God raised up Moses to lead them to the promised land. You probably know the story. And at the foot of Mount Sinai, God initiated another covenant with the people of Israel. The authors write, God began by reminding them of his faithfulness and his powerful redemption, and based on his grace and provision, he asked them for their faithful response. He says, if you obey me and keep my covenant, this is going to be good. If you disobey, it's not going to be good. And then he gave them the 10 Commandments, which were intended to guide their lives as a holy people. So this was the Mosaic covenant is a covenant of law. This is when he gave the law. He instituted the law, starting with the 10 Commandments. So let's look at some of the details of the covenant. The internal sign, once again, was faith. He once again invited them to respond in faith, to trust him and to believe in him and be obedient to his law. And the external sign of this covenant is the Passover. They were given the Passover to celebrate, to remind them of the Exodus, to remind them of God's deliverance of them, delivering them out of slavery. And there's really, the authors note, there's just really a lot of symbolism in all of that. And so the promise is freedom from bondage and freedom to worship God. So again, a lot of times you think of the law and you don't think of freedom, but the promise was if you're obedient to the law, it's going to lead to freedom. And if you're not obedient, then it will lead back to bondage, which is what they came out of in the first place. So that was the covenant with Moses. Why don't you talk it over for a minute here, and then we'll get to David in the next video.